Buongiorno from our home in Sicily. Our volcano, Mama Etna, has been putting on quite a show, spewing ash clouds into the air, canceling and diverting almost 1,000 flights. But boy, what a show for tourists and people interested in seeing Mother Nature at work.
Volcano experts say that this is the worst sustained eruption in the last 20 years. But guess what? No fatalities at all, not even remotely close, because all the action, except for the ash, is up in the mountain and the valley of the Bove flowing into that.
All right, a little background on what's going on in the history of Mount Etna in this little story. For 9 straight days, Mama Etna put on an extraordinary yet chaotic show for the week before Ferragosto, which is August 15th. It's not unusual, but always spectacular. What is notable is that several new vents, or bocche, have opened up on the volcano, with multiple vents producing impressive plumes of smoke and ash. The activity occurred at elevations of roughly 2,700 and 2,300 meters above sea level, with lava flowing into remote valleys called Valle de Bove e Lione. These, I repeat, are in remote areas and did not cause any threat to inhabitants, as was the case in past eruptions. The tremendous plumes of smoke caused Catania Airport to be closed for days. 1,000 flights were canceled or were diverted. Meanwhile, Sicilians and tourists flocked to take a peek, while angry and disheartened tourists saw their vacation blow up in smoke, especially during one of the busiest travel periods of the year. Many flights were diverted to Palermo, Trapani, and Ragusa. But those airports were not prepared for the huge surge. Hotel, restaurants, tour operators, and other businesses are also feeling the economic impact. Some estimate between 12 and 24 million euro. But still, thousands made the pilgrimage to see the lava, and at one point, the mayor of Milo, a small Etna town, passed an ordinance banning people going to certain locations on the mountain. A bit of background: Mount Etna is more than 500,000 years old, and today is Europe's highest and one of the most active volcanoes. Just outside of Catania, and yes, that's Mount Etna putting on quite a show. Etna has a long history of dramatic eruptions. The most famous was in 1669, when lava flowed for 122 days, destroying 15 towns and villages before reaching the walls of Catania. In 1928, lava buried Sicily, and during the massive 1991-93 eruptions, engineers used concrete barriers and even dynamite to divert lava away from Zafferana. August 14th, still going at it. In past years, Mount Etna spewed ash all the way down here, and we're about 25 kilometers from the peak, 30 kilometers, let's say. And we did have a little bit of ash, but not as bad as in past years when mayors and city and town officials had to lower the speed rate because there was too much ash on the ground and it could get slippery. So not bad this time around. It's Sunday, August 16th, and the aviation alert has been lowered from red to orange, and reports show that several flights have already taken off from Catania International Airport. Meanwhile, Mount Etna is still putting on a little bit of a show, although she's losing a little bit of steam, and it looks like she is going to calm down pretty soon. But boy, what an amazing 10 days. Meanwhile, Sicilians are doing what Sicilians do best, adapting. They're going to the beach, eating granita, enjoying dinner, and looking up at the La Montagna. So don't panic, stay informed, follow official guidance, and let the experts do their job. Etna is doing what Mama Etna does. Sicily will adapt, and eventually Mama Etna will calm down. Mama Etna doing what Mama Etna does best. We can't control Mother Nature, but now let's talk about the airport and the disaster that happened there. Not only were flights canceled and diverted to Palermo and other airports, but those airports weren't prepared to take on all of these new people, plus transportation, taking all these people and transporting them to other airports. Some people were taking advantage of this and charging astronomical amounts to go from Catania to Palermo. So there's a lot of discussion right now about the Catania International Airport.
Say, look at, first of all, nobody died, okay? Again, let me reiterate that. And the primary job of the airlines is to make sure, Esther, that passengers arrive safely. And every one of them that's been allowed in has arrived safely, okay? That's not where the problem was, not getting the people from point A to point B. It's what's going to happen, or what happened when they landed. Because the on-the-ground stuff was not properly coordinated, despite the fact that they have reports dating back to the year 2002 on what they should do. It's too compartmentalized, spread out among too many different groups. And the one thing that I think people have learned is that there needs to be one person, one outfit controlling the shots over here. Everybody needs to be answer to one person and not a bunch of people. That's what I'm.
So yeah, we had reports of chaos and so forth, and there's been a lot of discussion. Now, this is not the first time that Mount Etna has erupted and disrupted flights. There was also a fire at the Catania Airport a few years ago, and I was diverted. I was also diverted because of Mount Etna. The problem is threefold, or however you want to call it. But the original site of the airport of Catania was not supposed to be where it is right now. It was supposed to be in the hinterlands of Catania, a little bit further away from the mountain. There's also discussion that maybe some of the other airports should have a little bit more support. There's also discussion that of building an Archimedes airport in Siracusa, maybe reinforcing Trapani and Ragusa, because they're not up to par to be able to take on all these extra travelers in times of emergency. Now, Etna's going to do what Etna's going to do. We can't control her. But as Alfred said, we can do something about the bureaucracy and the problems at the airport. And there's a lot of talk right now. You know, the mayor of Catania was asked, should the Catania Airport be relocated? And he quickly said, no, let's just work with the studies that have already been done, so now let's implement them. So many times in life, Alfred, people do studies. Let's have a study on the feasibility of improving this and that on the airport. And then what happens to those studies? They stay in some drawer and don't see the light of day. Same issue with Nishemi and the landslide. They knew that this landslide was going to happen many years ago, and no one did anything. Same thing, here we go again at the Catania Airport. And boy, not a good image for our Catania International Airport, let me tell you that much.
Well, Mrs. Brady says you only have one chance to make a first impression, all right? So the impression is, okay, I have my bags, I'm in Catania, what the hell's going to happen to me? Okay, that's where the problem was. So you got here, okay, and even getting out of here, okay, I have my bags, I'm being diverted to Palermo. Where do I go? Okay, you have one information center, not multinational people that can understand just English. It's not just English, okay? A big problem. 2 bathrooms, high prices at or inside for things like water and food. So there's a lot of problems that can all be fixed. But I'll tell you one thing, a 6-day explosion, the worst in 20 years, doesn't happen every single week.
Yeah.
Because I'm quite sure now that Etna is reports of that are beginning to peter out, and it's been petering out a lot today. I'm assuming that by the middle of the week, the end of the week, there's going to be normal flight operations. But I also think that now the fun starts, okay? And by fun, I mean, let's come up with a plan once and for all, because Sicily profoundly needs tourism. or else the country's economy will just whoop go right into the ground. Don't you think so?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so-
The one thing I have to say too is you think about the elderly, the handicapped, the children, pregnant women that were out there in 90-degree weather, and there's even some reports that flights were canceled 7 days in a row, and it was just too expensive and too much of a headache to go to Palermo, so they found hotels in Catania. But you know what? It always evens out. It always goes back to normal. And right now, what you may be hearing is thunder, because for the first time in several months, it is now raining here.
Well, I hope it's raining here. I haven't seen a couple of drops. That's another issue, is the high heat. If this wasn't high heat, it'd be far more bearable. And this was the problem in Catania, okay? The high heat. People were dying for water, they were uncomfortable, they were tired, they were worried, everything else, okay? So because flying is 99% mental. You get here, okay, is there somebody of authority that can calm you down? See, that's what was missing, that human component.
Yeah.
That can be fixed, though, all right?
You know, it's hit or miss, because when I had the diversion, there were some people that were helping, but it's not
Yes.
always the case. So can you hear this beautiful sound of rain? So listen, if you are coming to Sicily, do not cancel your plan. Do not cancel your plan, because this too shall pass. And you know, right now we're getting ready for our September tour. We also have an October tour, and I'm sure by then everything will just return to normal.
I know one thing about Sicily, okay? Usually after Ferragosto, which is right now the 15th of August, 16th of August, there begins to be a temperature change. I noticed it at nighttime. Instead of it being in the high 80s or low 90s, at nighttime it's now in the low 80s and high 70s. By the time September comes along, it's more comfortable.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. By the second half of September, it's like, well, you're in heaven. I mean, basically, that's what I
And
want
then
now.
October, which is ideal weather, although it has been a little bit warm. So what's going to happen now? You know, I saw this extensive interview with the mayor, as I told you, and he is hell-bent. And I don't know if you remember when I met the ambassador to Italy, the American ambassador to Italy. I also interviewed the mayor, and I told him some of my thoughts, and we do have a follow-up interview, which I will ask some of these important questions. But he, in his interview, said that this is going now up top priority, along with the trash that is around the airport, which I told them it was just a disgrace.
I'm going to take my hat and give a big tip to Esther, because I don't know if you've been looking at our Facebook page, You, Me, and Siciliata. She's had over 7 million views this week. She's done an unbelievable job, well, because she's a journalist, on reporting on a twice daily basis the updates. They're just unbelievable. And also myself, I've been doing an in-depth examination on the structure of the airport and the whys and the wherefore. Alfred Zappler is Mayan. There's a picture of a cartoon character by the name of Top Hat. You could join up with me, you could join up with Esther, but I think You, Me, and Sicily has been leading the way for information purposes for many expats here, and Americans traveling, and Canadians traveling, and Australians traveling, and generally English-speaking people from the UK traveling here. So you ought to really follow Esther and the wonderful job that this woman does on our Facebook page.
You know, I couldn't have done it without some of our guides and some of the
Right.
people. The footage that you saw was from some of my guides, some professional photographers that obviously I gave credit. You can see it on the video. But boy, did they help me out in getting some of that footage up there. And I have to tell you that one of my guides invited me before that ordinance was passed that you can't go near the lava flow. She invited me up there, and I'll be quite honest with you. I said, you know what? I like watching Mount Etna from here, the beautiful pictures, but let's see, maybe next time. We'll see. Listen, I want to say congratulations to you.
Why?
Thanks to me, because
Of course.
your Kindle book coming up, and your next book coming up, where it will be available very, very soon. This is a sequel to the Infinity Protocol, but you do not have to read the Infinity Protocol to read this next book, which we will unveil very, very soon. A little bit about it. It's a time travel, and guess what? The best part about it for me was so interesting. Set in Sicily, and historically very much alike the happenings here in Sicily in the 1200s. So as the editor, I read it and I love it very much, and very soon we'll have it.
Well, Esther, let me say this about that, okay? Now the fun season starts between September and the end of the year, okay? We have tours in September, October, and even a New Year's Eve tour. Go to our website, youmeandsicily.com, and you can learn about us, number one, and we've been doing it a long time. And our video work that you're watching right now, we've been doing it a long time. You heard her, we have island-wide network of people that have worked with us and for us, our tour guides, licensed people who give us up-to-the-minute info.
And that's right, because when we have the wildfires, when we have any kind of a
Cyclone
situation,
Harry.
any kind of situation,
Yep.
I go and call my guys, give me the latest, what's the situation in your area, in your city, and so forth. So let me just tell you a fun fact about this. This is going to be, let's see, your number 7th book? Holy moly, number 7, Alfred Zappala.
Well, what we're going to do between now and Christmas, right now I have a book called My 75-Year-Old Sicilian Life. That's $9.99. It's this
On
collection
sale.
of 30 some odd essays. Due to popular demand, they asked me to expand that book. So what I'm going to be doing next is working on that book and expanding that to like 250 pages. I have many stories to tell about living here in Sicily, living here with Esther, our escapades, etc. So why not? And thanks also, I have to give a shout out to my daughter Katie Ray Sway Zappala, who's been helping me on this program, being my
Zapland.
copy editor. And
She's
Jim
been awesome.
and Lucy Mulla from Nashua, New Hampshire, who have been my technical
Mulla
advisors.
or Mulla?
Mulla. I say
Mulla.
Mulla. M-U-L-L-A. How would you pronounce that?
I don't know. But listen, I want to say that all of the stuff that we're doing would not be possible if it wasn't for your support, for your help. We have a community here on this channel, and for $1.99 or $2.99 you help support us. You've also been very kind with our GoFundMe and coming on tours and so forth. And frankly, for me, you are my inspiration. You are why I am inspired every single week, motivated to produce a video here for you, because I know you're enjoying it. So thank you very much.
Last thing I want to say, I would like 2 seconds of silence, if you don't mind. I've got it on my head right now, because our refrigerator has passed away due to the high heat. It used to be called Lazarus, because
Larry.
now I call it Larry. But for the last week, we've been dealing with no refrigerator except the ice that we run out and buy.
Well,
She's been going out and buying
Wait
it
a
every
sec.
day.
Every day, and we create what's called an icebox effect in the refrigerator with pans of ice. So we've been spending a good like $7 a day keeping Larry alive until next week, and we'll have a little video maybe of shopping for our new fridge.
Anyways, this is
Ching,
my
ching.
third refrigerator. Third refrigerator in 24 years. These things last about 7-8 years, except this time
Except this one,
it
2
expired
years.
6 months. The guarantee expired 6 months before it passed away. That's what you call planned obsolescence.
Okay, ching ching. Don't go anywhere, because I'm going to show you the rain. Sabededica.
Sa benedica. Grazie a tutti.
Rain, glorious rain. Ciao.